The second function of the sampler mode button is something called slicer. Now to get to slicer, I'm going to hold shift and press the sampler button. And at this point, as I play the track, it's going to chop up each sound into a single pad, like so. So now I can kind of do a live remix type of thing and rearrange it. The alternate function of this sampler mode button will allow you to do two different modes of the same feature, and that feature is called slicer. So to get into the original feature of slicer, I'm going to hold shift and press sampler. This is the default slicer. And what this means is that as the track is playing, it's going to give me a different sound per pad. But once this 2-bar loop passes, I'm going to now have a different section to play with, meaning so what's happening now in the slicer function, it's dividing each sound into one beat, but it's playing the track all the way through. Let's say I want a particular section of slicer to just focus on. So what I can do now is play the track. I'm in regular slicer mode, but if I press the sampler button twice, so 1, 2, now this is my loop slicer. So I really have two modes of slicer. I can have one slicer where it's just going through the entirety of the track, or I can loop a certain point inside of slicer so that I have direct control over a certain section of the song. What's cool about slicer is that I can make the slices in a tighter increment or a smaller timing variation. And what I mean by that is if I play the track, I hold shift and I press parameter minus. So rather than it being 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. So if I hold shift and press parameter minus, it's now going to be 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. So now I can do things like this. Alternatively, what the parameter plus and minus buttons without holding shift will allow you to do is to change that repeat function that I just did. So if the track is playing and I'm holding the pad, I can make the loop quicker or slower. So what's cool about that is that if you're playing a track and let's say you're doing like a live drum remixed kind of thing. Well, what you can do is press parameter minus and then go back to parameter plus to give you a little bit of variation. Now, slicer is a really great way to do live remixing without having to do any edits. Now, remember that if you want to utilize loop or you want to utilize roll or slicer, you have to remember that you have to add beat grids. Beat grids are crucial to utilizing these timed-based features because otherwise Serato's not going to know where exactly to play that sound from. So remember, if you want to use loop, auto loop, or if you want to utilize slicer, you have to set a beat grid, and that's really important. Thanks for watching this video, and we'll catch you in the next one.